If we were able to take razor slice thin steps of life, A, it would ground us to the present moment, I would think. But B, we'd be so focused, the way Paulie's focused, on that garlic. We'd be so focused on it that we wouldn't have to be so concerned about filling in the gap between the present moment and the goal. We'd be hyper focused on what's directly in front of us. Is that easy? Is that attainable? I would like to think so, because the moments where I'm able to pause myself, stop myself, and recognize I am not taking a razor thin slice of life. I'm hacking away. Rather than being graceful and smooth and focused, I'm chopping away. Hello and welcome to the Vinny Brusco Show podcast, episode number 452. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Do me a favor, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you get it. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you're watching or listening to the show. Leave me a comment, leave me a review, click a notification, spread the word, tell a friend. Thank you very much.
And here we go.
So I'm the type of person, I don't know about you, but my goals kind of are all over the place. I have a lot of I have mental goals, spiritual goals, physical goals. They're kind of all over the place. And I do some visualization practices, and I think the hardest part of achieving a goal is between the instant moment and the actual goal. It's everything in between we try to navigate and course correct and make sure it is transpiring, I guess, in the way that we anticipate it. And I still struggle with this. This is something that I've been really trying to work on, and being really present in the present moment and having my goal in mind and knowing what that goal is, but allowing the universe, God, source, or whatever else it is, whatever you want to label it, to fill in the gaps. My brain thinks in, I guess, movies. I think in pictures. That's just the way my brain works. And when I started kind of diving into the goals that I want, right? Where I want to be at this age, doing this thing, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is, I have those goals. And I'm aware of those goals, and I think about those goals, and I allow those goals to invoke feeling out of me to guide me. But again, everything between this instant moment and that goal, I do my best to leave it up to the power or powers that be. So I started thinking of the next step, right? Do the next right thing. And what instantly came to mind was the scene in Goodfellas. I don't know why, but the scene in Goodfellas where they're cooking dinner in prison. And you know the scene.
In prison, dinner was always a big thing. We had a pasta course, and then we had a meat or a fish. Paulie did the prep work. He was doing a year for contempt, and he had this wonderful system for doing the garlic. He used a razor, and he used to slice it so thin that it used to liquefy in the pan with just a little oil. It's a very good system.
I think about this, and I thought about those razor thin slices of garlic that dissolve in the pan. If we were able to take razor slice thin steps of life, A, it would ground us to the present moment, I would think. But B, we'd be so focused, the way Paulie's focused, on that garlic. We'd be so focused on it that we wouldn't have to be so concerned about filling in the gap between the present moment and the goal. We'd be hyper focused on what's directly in front of us. Is that easy? Is that attainable? I would like to think so, because the moments where I'm able to pause myself, stop myself, and recognize I am not taking a razor thin slice of life. I'm hacking away. Rather than being graceful and smooth and focused, I'm chopping away. I'm just no grace, no intention. We have our goals in mind. They invoke a feeling. They are where we want to be, who we want to be, what we want to be, the ideal version of yourself, the best you that you could possibly conjure up in your mind. Take a moment. Think about that version of yourself. What does that version of you look like? What does that version of you do? Down to what are they eating for lunch, dinner? What are their weekends doing? And if we're able to have that ideal version of ourselves, and we're able to take that next razor thin slice of life towards that, doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be intentional. If we're able to slice it razor thin, do one thing, two things, three things towards that goal, in that present moment, it may not feel like you're on that path, right? It's the present moment and the end goal, and everything else in between. If we could allow it to unfold the way it's meant to unfold, to reveal itself as we are walking that path towards our goal, and not have white knuckle grips on life, but allow life to come to us through our golden thread, through our flow, through our expression of the highest version of ourselves, through feeling, then I think we'd be setting ourselves up to be more successful. I think we'd feel less stress and anxiety. I know I would. I know that when I am able to be razor thin with my steps in life, I know that I'm showing up for that version of myself. I know I'm showing up for that goal. But the days I'm hacking away and just trying to put it together, trying to create life rather than live it, those are the days I feel the most stressed, the most anxious. So that is it. Are you able to take the razor thin slices of life towards your goals? The 1% better, the daily habits, the atomic habits, the subatomic habits. Are you able to take those steps, the quantum leaps? And then the quantum leaps come, the big leaps, the big bounds. They come when you're doing the granular work. The bigger chunks start to come. But after you build the inertia, after you build the momentum towards that goal, what do you think? Razor thin steps, big chunks, quantum leaps? Fuck it all. I have no idea. Leave a comment down below. Until next time, peace.